So in this video, it's about Rewind by monkeyc audio. You can see it here in the background. It's basically the same thing as the rolling sampler I showed you in one of my last videos. This one here is 50 bucks. Link is in the description below. It's not an affiliate link. It's not an ad. I just discovered this and I want to show you how it works. And the only downside is I think it's using iLok. So that's that. So in Bitwig, it looks like this here. We have already here one channel or one track, one instrument track with the piano text. We can play something on the MIDI keyboard. And we want to record this. So on the master track here, we just load in the Rewind plugin. And you don't need to use the plugin version. You can also use the standalone version and maybe use a loopback device on the audio device and just record with the standalone application everything that happens on your PC all the time. It's also a possibility. Or you use it here like I did in the DAW itself as a plugin. So I put this here on the master track. And to actually hear something, so when we play here, you can see it's recording stuff, but we don't hear anything. We have to enable here the input monitoring. So it records all the time. You don't need to press record or anything. It just records every time. And then you do something by accident, something pretty genius. It's the best melody ever, the best sound, you know, accidentally creating a super nice sound while sound designing. And then you want to reuse it, but you haven't recorded it. So with this one here, just rewind back, right? Press into here, into the waveform, stop the recording, and then select something by clicking and dragging. And then you click and hold, and then you can drag it out onto the arranger here to have a wave file, or onto the clip launcher, or you can drag it onto the track itself to create an instrument track with a sampler on it and a sample in the sampler, which is also nice. So this is basically your ticket back in time to use something you just did. So you can see here we are back into recording mode, and we want to record also now MIDI data. To make this happen, we have to switch here to the MIDI page, and it says please configure MIDI settings to enable capturing. And to do this, we switch here to the settings page, go to MIDI here, and we want to record here my KeyStep Pro MIDI keyboard device. And now when I close this back down, we can record MIDI on notes and the waveform, the output, at the same time, as you can see on the background, which is pretty helpful because now we can click in here, stop the recording, and can say I want to drag out the audio. So click and hold, drag it in here. And then we switch back to MIDI using the same selected region, click and hold, and drag it onto the initial instrument track here. And it's basically in sync now. So we can hit play and it plays on the original plugin, and we also play the wave file at the same time, and it's perfect in sync. Okay. You can also record multiple instruments or MIDI controllers at the same time. And then when you want to select here, not everything at once, you can select then here different devices with this drop down at the top. I haven't tried this yet, actually. Maybe I should. So you can see the more devices we select here on the settings page, the more devices are popping up here in this drop down. And then you can select just what you want to drag out. But you basically can record everything. So audio output and MIDI data output from your controllers at all times. And you can also record up to 60 minutes here. So a buffer of 60 minutes. So when you did something by accident 20 minutes earlier, then, you know, you can go up to 60 minutes. So it's pretty nice to have. Another interesting feature for me, what I found interesting is by the export settings here, we can normalize the export. I switched this here to yes, so it peak normalizes the wave file basically. So when we have here maybe something pretty quiet recorded, switch this back here. Let's go down with the volume here and let's go back to recording. Yeah, I know it's pretty quiet. But now when we select here something, click and drag, now it's normalized and we drag this in. Oh, it's the MIDI data, sorry. We click and drag here. Now it's normalized. You can see here's the biggest peak. It's perfect basically. So when you record something pretty quiet, it makes it automatically loud enough. You can also change here the output to 32 bits or 24 bits or 16 bits. It's pretty nice. You can select a different export location. You can show the export location in the Explorer, right? By general, you have something here, the gate hold length, which is interesting. It's a feature I want to show you next. And the recording length here, I have 1 minute. For me at the moment, it's perfectly fine. We can change the waveform resolution here. Doesn't do that much for me actually. And we can resume recording on close. So when you close this plugin, it still records. If you want to have to do this, if you want to have this feature, then you have to click here to yes, of course. Then the normalize is pretty nice. Okay, so let's go to the gate hold length here. I have this at 1 second. We can also switch to 5 seconds or 10 seconds or 20 seconds. And what this means is when you record something in this mode, let's delete this here. We have now here this button called gate, and we have to switch this on, and then we get the threshold. And every time the audio signal goes below this threshold, it waits exactly 1 second, because I dialed in here 1 second. It waits 1 second, and then it stops recording. And it starts recording when we cross the threshold again with audio. So now we can see it stops recording. It puts in here some kind of green marker to show you this is the last time we stopped the recording. So now we play something. It's actually pretty quiet because it uses here also, I think, MIDI data. It records when it receives MIDI data. So maybe I switch here MIDI off for this experiment. Switch this off. And now I play something, but it doesn't record because the audio doesn't cross here the threshold. So we have to increase here the volume. Then it goes below the threshold and it waits 1 second and then it stops. And then we have a new marker here, right? And then you maybe want to select a different preset here. Then we go below the threshold, it waits 1 second and it stops. Select a different setting here. Waits 1 second and it stops and we get the marker. So now we have nice little chunks here of data without too much silence between these sessions or these regions. And when you do stuff like recording multiple presets like I did here with the piano tech, and you want to get them close together and put them then into the sampler to use it with textures mode and granular synthesis, right? It's pretty neat to have. So now we can go here into the editor, and we have now these green markers here, and you can click on these small little triangles. You can test what's in these regions, but you can also click here now on the top of these regions to select them. and then you can click and hold and drag it out. Also go in here, click, drag, or click and hold and drag it out. So you can select each of these regions pretty easily. Or you can, I don't know if you can select everything at once. Maybe you can hold shift. I haven't tried it yet. No, it's not possible. So you have to probably select this like this, and then you click and hold and export everything, right? So this would be the option here for the, let's go in here, for the sampler. So here we have basically all these different presets close together in the sampler. You can switch this to textures mode and then use that. Yeah, it's pretty neat to have something like this inside of such a recorder or such a sampler. I haven't found a solution yet for the problem that it doesn't select you the input monitoring. Maybe there's a setting somewhere I missed, but usually when you just plug in the rewind plug-in into the DAW, it's, you know, you have to activate certain things. You have to select the MIDI input again all the time. It doesn't remember anything. I don't know why. Maybe there's a feature or a setting somewhere where I can, you know, use these default settings, but maybe I can also inside of Bitwig just right click and say save as default preset. And then this should do it. Yeah. Basically opens up also the settings page. So maybe I select here my Keystep Pro input, 1 minute, 1 second, close this down, and then have the gate mode deselected. This one is on. This is my preferred size maybe, and then right click and say save as default preset, close it down, rewind, and boom, it's exactly like I left it. Nice. So it records audio and MIDI at the same time. Easy. So yeah, that's the plugin called Rewind. I just discovered this from the Bitwig Discord, and yeah, it's $50. Link is in the description below, and yeah, it's a nice little tool, nice companion app for Bitwig Studio, in my opinion. Thanks for watching. Leave a like if you liked the video, subscribe to the channel. Thanks for watching, and see you in the next video. Bye.